It's a big step from where I was. Perfect timing. I went from very down to very up. I always thought I could train a world champ. Now he is fighting for the belt.
I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound number one. So it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
So Volkanovski's obviously fought him before.
Yep.
Will you pick Volk's brain?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely plan. After the last two fights, I've spent a bit of time in Wollongong. So yeah, I think probably the first stop, we go to Wollongong, talk to Volk, see what he reckons.
The welterweight group is alert. Jack Della Maddalena is in full camp mode, improving his punches and defense for his big fight with Islam Makhachev. This is his chance to show he's the best in the world. This is UFC 322 training camp. Jack Della Maddalena is fully locked in a hard training phase, working on his wrestling skills and overall stamina to prepare for a possible fight with Islam Makhachev. The talked-about bout has already gained much notice from fighters and experts too, including Islam Dulatov. Dulatov has shared his view on the fight, arguing against the common idea that Makhachev will win with ease. While he still favors Makhachev to win, he thinks it will be a much tougher fight than most expect. Dulatov said that though Makhachev has a large frame for lightweight, he does not look very strong at welterweight. In Dulatov's eyes, Della Maddalena may even have more size and better striking skills. Still, he made clear Makhachev's big edge in grappling, which will decide
the fight.
I think a lot of people think that it's going to be an easy fight for Islam, but I don't think that it's going to be that easy. I think Islam going to win, but I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for him, like everybody thinks. Because Islam is maybe big for lightweight, but he's not big for welterweight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's why I would say, like, I don't know, he don't look for me so big.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's just on pictures or whatever, but actually, you know, I think JDM has a lot more of weight than him. But at the end of the day, I think JDM has better striking, and Islam has for sure the better growth.
Jack Della Maddalena is going through a tough and very strict training camp as he gets ready for a possible fight with Islam Makhachev. His training works on improving his striking, building his defense against takedowns, and gaining the stamina to keep a fast pace inside the cage. Every drill is made to deal with the special dangers that Makhachev brings. Move well. Don't stand still. Jack Della Maddalena is shaping his training to answer Islam Makhachev's strong grappling style. He is working on perfecting his takedown defense, and staying light on his feet. This means fixing his movement, making his timing on defense better, and learning to get up fast if taken down. He is also working on his boxing skills to keep the fight standing while training his body to face the steady pressure from Makhachev. Ronaldo Moyano thinks the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena should be seen as a close contest. While he admits Islam's great skill in grappling, he points out the real issues that come with moving to welterweight. Moyano says these issues include facing stronger, heavier fighters and changing his build for the bigger class. He thinks these things will make the fight very close even with Islam's edge at lightweight.
Poses. Jack Della Maddalena
Thomas looked at Jack Della Maddalena's last fight, praising his striking, but noting some weak spots in his defense and grappling choices. He warned that these mistakes could matter a lot against a smart and very skilled fighter like Islam Makhachev. Luke Thomas also showed his excitement for Islam Makhachev's jump to welterweight, seeing it as a chance for him to become one of the few two-division champs. He agreed that the move brings real risks, but pointed to the huge legacy prize waiting for Islam if he wins. Volkanovski looked at the possible fight between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev, saying Jack's fight with Belal Muhammad was the best warm-up. He thinks Jack's success in blocking Belal's takedowns has raised his belief and improved his defense. Volk feels that even top wrestlers will find it hard to take Jack down or hold him there. The former champ's view shows the big test Islam will face in this fight. While Makhachev is one of the top wrestlers in the sport, Volkanovski's belief that Jack's defense is now elite means the fight could stay on the feet for a long time. Playing right into Jack Della Maddalena's skill. This creates a great style clash between a world-class grappler and an elite striker with new defense. Makhachev is going to fight Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up? I think Jack's fight with Belal was the right fight before this, just because you gain so much by stopping takedowns, since every fighter will still have doubts in minds. You know, I'm sure Jack was thinking, what if he takes me down, but the fact he could stop it and feel at ease, I promise he has grown again. His faith in his defense has gone way up before this fight. I think his belief is going to another level. So, during camp, I promise if he's back in the gym, people trying to take him down are going to find it very hard. Only the very top guys may be able to take him down, and even then it will be tough to keep him down. Jorge Masvidal is leaning towards Islam Makhachev as the likely winner over Jack Della Maddalena. He praised Jack's striking and defense against Belal Muhammad, but rated Islam's wrestling much higher. Masvidal said while Jack begins strong with his hands, he thinks Islam's steady pressure and mat work will break him as rounds go on. In his view, Islam's power to keep control and rule the ground will be the main factor in the fight.
At lightweight.
So Islam versus JDM.
I think they probably should be even, you know, because even though Islam is a good grappler, he's big for 155. He's moving to 170. We never know, you know. I think he needs to take some time to work on to gain weight, to gain power, you know, to gain strength. So that's why the odds are even, and I think they should.
Sterling has
Philip Rose
predicted.
said he believes Jack Della Maddalena will win over Islam Makhachev. He argued that Islam does not have the natural size for the welterweight class and that this would be a big weakness for him in the fight. Rose predicted that Jack would be able to get back up from any takedowns, use his strength, and finally end the fight. He believes Jack's size, power, and skill to rise again will be too much for the lightweight champ to deal
Strength.
with.
JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam, shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
Do you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and when you watch JDM, you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. It's hard to shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think Islam.
Lou Thomas
Dustin Poirier gave his view on the fight, saying the result depends on the first rounds. He thinks that if Islam Makhachev gains early control on the ground, he will likely win. But Poirier added that if Jack can block those takedown tries, his sharp boxing and size edge could really trouble Islam.
he succeeds.
Striking prowess of JDM, if he could just have enough time to get it going, would be enough. I think Muhammad somewhat overperformed relative to expectations, but in the end, JDM was better. But the defensive lapses, to me, I know we have to focus on how good JDM is as a striker, but what could have cost him here was the incompleteness of his defense. And to me, he took a quantum leap forward today in showing how good that was. Now again, trying to turn that defense into offense by trying to go for some of those ill-advised takedowns, especially in the fifth, and then you're getting kind of lateral dropped for it. You do that against Islam, and I think that's a huge mistake. Islam just doesn't make a lot of mistakes, right? He doesn't necessarily have, at times, always the flashiest offense. I mean, he does have very good offense. We're talking about the pound-for-pound #1 guy in the sport. But what really, the 170 to me is exciting. I know what everyone's going to say. Oh my God, the best fight you could have made in MMA was Ilya versus Islam. I'm not denying it. I'm not in any way asking you to feel differently about what was the best fight that could be made. But here's what I am trying to tell you. Islam up at 170 could be something really special. It could fizzle too, but I'm trying to point out the positives. It could be really special. For him to become a double champ could be.
Charles
Alexander
Oliveira called Jack Della Maddalena a dangerous rival because of his slow, steady plan of tiring fighters instead of chasing a quick end, as he showed in his fight with Belal Muhammad. While noting Jack's style, Oliveira expects Islam to adjust well to the welterweight class, pointing to his extra power and better grappling. He views the fight as a clash of two game plans, whether Jack can keep it standing or if Islam can use his wrestling.
Fight.
Islam, bro, big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Belal.
Belal has the best cardio in MMA, but Belal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Belal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds...
Robert Whittaker admitted the challenge of guessing Islam Makhachev's form at welterweight since moving up a class brings many new questions. He noted that both the body demands and fight plans change in a bigger weight group, making it tough to know how a fighter will look. Still, Whittaker backed Islam's skill. He said Islam's talent is such that he can match or even top what Belal Muhammad brings in the cage, mainly with his grappling and control. In the end, Whittaker feels Islam's top-level skill is enough to handle the issues of the higher class. He sees Islam as a world-class fighter who can not only fight well, but also rule over someone like Belal Muhammad, a clear sign of his chance at 170 pounds.
Champion to handle.
Bro, what's cracking, man? Chillin'. Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop.